Hello everybody, welcome back to another JQ on the Go video. So as you can see here from this clip, this is a video from the dash cam of my 2012 Audi A5. And as per the title of this video, I recently got pulled over. So in this video, I just want to kind of explain what happened and what I think you should do in this situation. So just going to give you some tips and tricks from what I've used from when I was in traffic stops. So as you can see here again, this is the hood of my car. I'm coming right onto the highway here. Just kind of cruising along. A little backstory on where I was going. I was actually going back home because I recently was at my mom's work. I dropped off some lunch for her. So in the right lane here, just kind of cruising. And at this point, I didn't actually see the officer until he got on the highway. I'll show you guys later that he was actually behind me for a little bit longer than that and saw me before I even got on the highway. And so again, I'm in the right lane here, just kind of cruising. I see him come up onto the ramp. So you'll see in a little bit, I turn on my blinker right about now, and I move into the middle lane. I was doing this to try to get out of his way because I saw he came up, had his lights on, was still about 5 or 6 car lengths behind me, and then he came up right behind me. So then you're going to see I move over into the right lane here. I kind of question if I'm actually getting pulled over because I was really confused and didn't know why I was getting pulled over. But then turned on my blinker, moved over onto the shoulder. The biggest thing that you'll see here that I did was I made sure to go into the grass to give the police officer, in my case, the most room possible to walk up next to my car. I feel like that's a big thing that you should do. Make sure that you're over safe enough, one, because there's a lot of traffic, as you can see, going by me, and two, just so the officer, again, has enough space to walk up next to you. And at this point, I rolled down my windows, had my hands on my wheel, because I do have tinted windows in this car, and then I was just waiting. So now I'm going to fast forward to when the officer comes up. I'm going to unmute the video, and then you'll kind of hear our interaction a little bit.
You made a legal U-turn right there at 17 and 95.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Big sign that says no U-turn.
Right where to go to 95 South, right? That
You
lane?
can't make a U-turn there.
Okay.
Because you got 95 southbound right there, and you got the cross traffic. That's why it's got this big sign in front of there. There's a U and a no.
Okay.
You got your license and insurance on you?
Yes, I do. Can I grab it from my pocket?
So the biggest thing, as you can see here, the first thing I asked before I moved and did anything in the car was I made sure to talk to the officer and kind of let them know, be like, hey, am I able to grab from my glove box? Hey, am I able to this? So they know where you're moving, what you're doing. So kind of there's that level of communication and that level of kind of trust and understanding that these police officers have very difficult jobs. If you're moving around, if you're nervous and they're going to get nervous, you want to try to make the situation as calm and as as elegant in a sense as possible. As you can hear in this exchange, we even had a joke back and forth. The officer walked up and was like, hello, and kind of gave like a really, really good kind of atmosphere to start with. So,
And then it's in the glove
Did you
box.
get lost or something?
Yeah, I actually just recently moved down here about 6 months ago. I was just I'm just going back to... Yeah, I know.
Everything good with your license?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll be right back with you.
So as you could see from that little interaction right there, I was very honest with the officer. I wasn't too familiar with the area that I was in because, as many of you know, I live in Georgia, but I go to school in Florida, and I'm originally from New York, so I've been all over the East Coast. But besides that, I wasn't too familiar with this area. And as I'll show you guys in a little bit, it was a traffic light where I made the U-turn at. I originally thought I could make a U-turn because I had a green arrow. But after I talked with the officer, he did make a good point. I went back and checked my footage, and you could see that I was in the wrong. So at this point, the officer walks back to his car, takes my license, takes all my information. Then he stands at the back of the car, is talking on his radio and kind of walking back and forth. I got a little bit nervous because I thought he was going to give me a window ticket tint, because I know in New York you're not really supposed to do any modifications to your cars with exhaust and stuff. And I know everybody's probably heard about how it is in California. And I got this car like this. The only thing I've done to the Audi is just maintenance. So I was like, oh no, I don't know about the tints, all that fun jazz. But luckily, the interaction was good, and I was able to walk away from this situation with just a warning. So now at this point, the officer comes back to my car after getting all of my information, and now you'll hear that right here.
Thank you.
All right, we can shake it in.
Oh, sorry.
All right, so what I want you pull out in this lane, you go ahead and pull out and go, okay?
Okay.
So I'm gonna make sure your car don't hit you.
Thank you.
So as you can hear from that interaction, the cop gave me a warning, just told me to make sure to look out for more of the road signs, and I feel like I'm a pretty good driver. I see most things, but as you'll see from when I go back to show you the intersection on where he followed me from, you'll see that there was a sign. It was in the intersection ahead of me on the median. I did miss it, so he did have the right to pull me over. And again, at the end of this was actually kind of cool. When I got pulled over in New York, this didn't happen, but the officer said that he was going to pull out first and then I was going to kind of go out after him. And that's a lot different from how I was pulled over in New York. I haven't been pulled over in New York in a long time now. I would say probably a good 3 or 4 years. It's 2020. I don't know when you're watching this, but at the time I had my Acura RSX. It was manual. I was probably 16 or 17 when I got pulled over. And the cop, I didn't get a ticket for that either, luckily, but the cop pulled me over for X, Y, and Z. And he was like, yeah, you can just pull out. And I was like, okay. And he was like, yeah, just like go. And I was like, okay. So like I had to look over. He was still there with his lights on, and I had to try to come out into traffic, which is not very safe compared to how this situation was. So very cool to see that. Very nice to kind of see how the interaction went for me with the cop. And now you'll just see me pulling away. So you'll see I start to move up. The cop at this point is already out. I put on my blinker, wave out the window, and then get on my way. And now I'm back on the road, heading home. So now here is the background to the background of how I got pulled over, or why I got pulled over. So now I'm in the Audi. I'm just cruising back from my mom's work, heading home. So you'll see not this little part here, but this next intersection is actually where I was supposed to make the left, right where this Hyundai Ioniq is. I think that's how you say it, Ioniq, Iona. I don't know. It's a hybrid one. And I was supposed to make the left here, go this way, back home, and then this was the highway that I got pulled over on. And I ended up noticing right about here that I passed it. So I was like, okay, let me wait until I can find a traffic light. And I just saw this light was right here. So it's like, oh, okay, I can make a U-turn here. I know this has a green arrow. Did my blinker, moved over, all that good fun jazz. And when I get up to the light, you'll see that there's two cars in front of me. It's pretty sure it's a Jeep Compass, Jeep Compass. And then we got a Buick here. And I'm just sitting, and I don't know if you can see right about there on the other side of the intersection, there is a no U-turn sign. I didn't see this because I was just focused on that there were two people in front of me, waiting for the light to turn green. And normally I would have thought the U-turn sign would have been here. I don't know, maybe that's just me. And as well, you can see here, there's no turn on red, it says. But I feel like there usually is also another U-turn sign here. I would say no U-turn. I don't know if this is just me, but more or less, I kind of looked in these two spots, didn't see anything. So you'll see. Let me move my face. Hold on one sec. There we go. And just kind of cars going through the intersection. Doodly, doodly, doo. Light turns green. I start to go. Again, you can see that no U-turn sign. And as you can see, the officer made a solid point. So here there's a car going into this lane and I'm going into that lane. So there are two lanes here. And as you can see, the car was coming around the bend. They do have the stop line or the yield line. And I kind of saw this and I was like, oh no. So I kind of gave her a little bit of juice to get out of the way because I noticed that I kind of made a oopsie. And then you noticed right here is the cop that came over and pulled me over, or the sheriff. And I came from back here, so he was following me for a good bit, saw me go around. I got on the highway, and I probably listened to about a whole song, and then I got pulled over. So that's why I kind of was like, okay, he was following me for a little bit, maybe to see if I was speeding or doing anything else. But luckily, I wasn't speeding. I was being a good noodle, as I say. And now I just head this way and then get back on the off-ramp to where I was then pulled over. So now we are back on the camera. You have seen all of the dash cam footage. I really hope that this video was helpful and was educational on what you should be doing in a traffic stop and how you can learn from mistakes like me. And I try to film and try to talk about everything automotive and things that go on in my life so you guys get entertainment and can learn how to better prepare yourself and to interact and how to interact in a way in situations like this. But as always, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure to put them down below in the comment section of this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye!